Hello everybody. You might remember me from class today if you were there on the first day. If you were not there, my name is Sean Glassberg and I teach your English 160 class, and this is a little video to talk about behaviors in class. Before we talk, I would like to talk a little bit about myself. If you weren't there again, you might not know that I'm a father of three. There's me and my oldest daughter. Here's a picture of me and my middle child, who definitely is suffering from little middle child syndrome, but maybe she's just because she's 2.5. She's a handful. And this is my last child, my third child, who actually is no longer in his mother's womb, but he's 9 months old as of the end of this month. And last but not least, there's Scout, my dog. She's about 3.5 years old, and you might see her one of these days when I bring her to campus. So with that said, just a little introduction about myself. I'd like to talk about behaviors, as I mentioned in class. Y'all know what this is. This is called texting, and I've been teaching for about 13, 14 years, the post-secondary level, and I see this more and more in class. So I just wanted to talk to you about why that's not a good idea. Oftentimes when you text, you might find yourself in class, and a professor might see you actually do this and come over and then talk to you about your texting in front of other people. I will not do this. I promise that I will not embarrass you. However, I do see everything. Most instructors, when they're out in front of the class, they see all. You might not know that, but we do notice what you're doing. Even if you have your phone on your lap and you're texting, it's very easy to see, and it's also a little bit distracting. Some professors, like this man here, his name is Lawrence Thomas, and he is a Syracuse University philosophy professor. And recently, he caused quite a debate on text messaging. Students were texting in class, and he walked out. He told his students that he was tired of them texting, and he just left. And Syracuse University is about $30,000 a year in tuition, and students were upset. And so there was this discussion about what is acceptable behavior in class. In the end, the administration supported his decision to just leave class, and he was allowed to conclude the class by just leaving if they text. Now, I won't leave class if you text, but the point I'm trying to make here, as I did in class this morning, is that you're not supposed to text in class. It comes across as rude, even if you're not a rude person. Next up is something that I see on occasion, that's talking in class. Typically, again, I don't embarrass my students, but I do notice when there are side conversations, and I'd rather not see that. When you talk, let's say in response to a question I have, or if you're trying to ask a question, I will not ignore you and talk to someone else in the class. I promise. I would just rather not see that from you as well. Same thing here. You'll see some side conversations that, again, this is the photo here is taken from the vantage point of where the instructor stands or moves around in front of the class. So, we do see that, and just try not to do that. Now, I know as well that daydreaming can occur. If I'm sitting down and I'm in an hour and 20-minute class, I might have potential there to daydream. I promise to do everything I can to keep your attention, which means that I will not lecture for an hour and 20 minutes. I will not give you PowerPoint after PowerPoint after PowerPoint. I will do everything that I can to interact with you, to get you to answer and to ask questions. So I'll try my best. This is a class of folks. Obviously, it's a little bit of an older picture, and probably taking in Asia. But notice how they're sitting here. Every single student in this picture is sitting attentively. And, while I'm not going to take off points or say anything to you if you're sitting back in your seat or you have a hat on over your head or whatnot, but, this is how you really need to show that you're listening and paying attention. Oftentimes I'll get to the end of the semester and, there'll be a borderline grade, 79.2. And if the student is someone who sits like this young lady in the second row there and is always paying attention, I'm more likely to help that student out by boosting the grade to a B. So basically, it's not like I'll take off points, but I certainly won't help folks if they're always appearing to be inattentive. Now, this group here, very attentive group. It's a model class. This last picture here is of a couple folks doing work in a lab. Now, I teach English, so we're not going to be working on any chemistry. But notice how the girl with the ponytail consistently is looking over to the person next to her for help. Now, that's fine. You can ask your partner for help or your colleague for help, especially during peer review. But try to be independent. Try to be progressive, and try to do as much work on your own as you can. And if you ever have any questions, you can always ask. But we can all work together. And that's about it. Now, as you may know, if you were there today, you will have a quiz on some of these pictures that you saw. I just want to make sure that you listened and watched. And so when you come to class on the second day, you'll have a short quiz, take 3 or 4 minutes, about some of the behaviors that I talked about, some of the pictures that you saw. I might even ask you how many kids I have. And hopefully we'll have a great semester, and we will not really have to deal with many of these behaviors.